where Bahraini appeals court has overturned the denaturalization of 92 activists but upheld their jail terms. Activists were among 138 people who had received prison terms and their citizenship had been revoked. All of them were convicted over terror-related charges and alleged links to Iran. The activists were convicted in April in mass trials that Amnesty International censored as a mockery of justice and mass arbitrary denaturalization. The regime has revoked the citizenship of many Bahrainis as part of its crackdown on dissent. Now, the crackdown began in early 2011 following demonstrations calling for freedom and justice. Crossing over to Belfast, joined by Saib Shaf, author and Middle East affairs expert. Thanks so much for being with us. Well, the Bahrainis continue to react in the extreme with so many of these individuals with these life prison terms. And basically, as many international organizations have said, doing nothing but demonstrating or asking for freedom and justice. What is behind this extreme reaction by the regime in Manama?
To begin with, this widespread feeling of injustices which is endured by the majority of Bahraini people stemmed from the regime itself, whose the repression and the marginalization of the people and the real absence of the state institution, democratic institution, or any kind of institution which would serve society. It's absent because you have a tyrant in there, sustained by the West, sustained by the United States of America, ruling something what's supposed to be called the state, tiny piece of land. It's a headquarters of the American Fifth Fleet. It's a base of a new British Navy base in there, which is the British wanted to bring alive the nostalgia of the empire. Bahrain was the springboard for them to that, to expand their own influence in the Gulf states and to join the United States of America in its adventures against Iran and the rest. So the Bahrain, and as well, when we noticed in Bahrain held the conference of Kushner and Trump to try to market the deal of the century against the will of the Arab people and the Palestinian, and against the will of the Bahraini people. So the whole country is burdened with this tyrant, and it's against the will of the people. And any activist who is even calling for just normal services of normal society, health, education, any kind of welfare issues, they'll be jailed and they'll be stripped of their citizenships, and they will be called agent to Iran or agent to the resistance or supporter of the Palestinian fanatic resistance movement and stuff like that. And all of these tactics is to silence the people and make them feel they live out of the generosity of the ruler himself, who put his country at the service of the Zionist entity. We see in Bahrain, an Israeli journalist have more freedom to express their views or to wander in Bahrain than a Bahraini citizen himself.
And where do you see this going? It just continues to get worse. We're from 2011, now we're 2019, and we see this type of repression just continue. What has to happen, Saab, in your perspective, in order to stop this type of repression against the majority population in Bahrain?
You see, Bahrain never seen sectarianism before. And the Bahraini people existed with each other, Shia and Sunni Muslims or Christians, very well. And Bahrain itself have a brilliant history of working class people united against imperialist oppression at the time with the British, and trying to build a democratic institution in there. But suddenly, with Wahhabi sectarian policies imposed in the region by Saudi Arabia during what they call it the Arabic Spring, that have to be imported and imposed in Bahrain. and the movement of the Bahraini people to ask for rights provoke the Saudis to come with the Emiratis and occupy Bahrain. Bahrain, not a sovereign state. Bahrain is an occupied country run by Saudi security, and the people of Bahrain are an occupied people. This is the way I see it myself. And they are occupied by Saudis and Emiratis. And the king of Bahrain is a puppet for the Saudi regime. And whatever the Saudis wish to be practiced in Bahrain against any voice or dissented voice against the Saudis' policies, the Bahraini king will execute that and give legitimacy to the Saudis' occupation.
Thank you so much for being with us out of Belfast. Saab Shath, author and Middle East affairs expert.